My name is Raz Lavari, and this is X. Now I'm going to share with you uh, some general advice on writing. Writing test is 1 hour. 20 minutes are given for task 1 and 40 minutes are given to task 2. Task 1 is different for academic and for GT. If you're taking academic, you'll have to write a report for 20 minutes. And if you're taking general training, you have to write a letter. That letter can be formal, it can be informal, and you will have to write 150 words. And its weightage, there's more weightage is given to task 2. More weightage is given to task 2 than to task 1. But it doesn't mean that you should take it lightly. You'll have to take it seriously and complete the task 1 properly. Some general tips that I want to share with you about writing task 1, that is, number 1, be familiar with the task. Like if it is for GT, you will have to write a letter, formal letters and informal letters. And in GT, there are prompts, like there are points which are given. You will have to write those points. Don't write examination hall, city, ABC, or these sort of just dear sir, dear madam. If it is one person, dear sir. If it is female, dear madam. If there are more than one, dear sirs or madams. If you're writing to a company, you will write dear masters. So ending will be if you're writing to a friend, like dear Ali or dear Tom, then you write yours sincerely. If you're writing to a company or director, then you cannot write yours sincerely. You will have to write yours faithfully. And in body, according to the given points, you will have to write those points. You will convert them into paragraph. Or in simple words, there are three things you will have to write. Number one, who are you? Number two, why are you writing the letter? Number three, what do you want? So usually it can be, for example, if you lost your passport in London, you can write a letter to your High Commissioner or Ambassador. Number one, you will tell who you are. You are a Pakistani citizen or you're a British national. You've lost your passport. Why are you writing? Because you've lost your passport. How you lost it, you state and explain the problem. And in the third part, you will demand action. Like, what do you want? You want your passport to be issued as soon as possible. So in this way, task one is for GT. You should understand what is the task. Is it formal? Is it informal? If it is informal, you don't need to introduce yourself because your friend knows you very well. So you can start with exchanging pleasantries. But if it is formal, you will have to introduce yourself according to the given situation. And if it is academic, you will have to understand the types like graph, column graph, or it is like bar graph, pie chart. What type of graph is it? And do a lot of practice in describing graphs. Similarly, practice identifying key information in the graphs and charts. Practice working on those tasks and express how to express percentage, numbers, data, statistical data, key points in the graph, trends, some are describing increase or decrease, make comparisons between data. So, and language that is used for describing charts, describing tables, processes, describing how something works, describing and comparing objects, writing introductory sentences, making reference to graphs or figures. So make sure you know how to use sequencing expressions. And the kind of topics are given, they are births, crime, deaths, education, environment, health, leisure, old age, population, science and technology, transport, travel, tourism, and work. In task one, academic. Number one, first paragraph is always written in the present simple tense active voice, like the graph presents, the graph shows, the graph identifies. And then in body paragraph, you can divide the information, group the information into three, the highest, the lowest, average. And then you can add three C's. Those three C's are compare, contrast, and comment. Compare similar things, contrast different things, and comment, tell how much is the gap. Here you have to show your strength of vocabulary, like you have a fairly good command of vocabulary, you have to show it to the examiner. Number two, time limit. 20 minutes means 20 minutes. You should not spend more time on that because you will not have enough time for the essay. And tense should be appropriate, and especially in the body. In first paragraph, it will be present tense, active voice, simple, the simple present tense, active voice. And in body paragraphs, you can see like what is the situation. And in process, if you're writing a process, in process we use present simple tense passive voice. So work well on task one because the report writing is technical. In GT letter writing, that is comparatively easier. You won't face any problem in that. But task two is, very important. Task two, there are different essay types. Like number one, agree or disagree. Number two, discuss both views. Number three, double question. Number four, problem solution. Number five, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So, what is the best thing for the beginners? The best thing is number one, understand the essay types, like agree or disagree. What will be the format? Discuss both views. What will be the format? Double question, problem solution, advantages and disadvantages. What will be your format or style of writing? Number two, instructions. Like if in instructions it is stated, do you agree or disagree? Or to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Or how far do you agree or disagree with the statement? In that case, you will have to show that you understand the task. To what extent do you agree or disagree? In the introductory paragraph, you will have to give your opinion. But if the topic is discuss both views and then full stop, then you cannot give your opinion. But if it states discuss both views and give your opinion, here you will have to give your opinion. But where? In the end. Now, what is the best way? The best way is start writing with four paragraph essay. Number one, introduction. Number two, body paragraph one. Number three, body paragraph two. Number four, conclusion. Introduction, just paraphrase the given question. Write that in your own words. Underline the difficult words and then write it in your own words. Then write body paragraphs. Body paragraph one, body paragraph two, and then conclusion. Now, if it is agree or disagree, your body paragraph in the introduction, you can take position that I moderately agree with it. And you can write one paragraph for the topic, one against the topic. If it is discuss both views, in body paragraph, you will write view number one, view number two. And in the introduction, just paraphrase. Don't give your opinion. In the end, if the statement says discuss both views and give your opinion, here you can give your opinion. Similarly, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Number one, paraphrase. Next paragraph, advantages. Next, disadvantages. And last, conclusion. Now, if you are told to give your opinion, you can give your opinion in the end. Otherwise, don't give your opinion. Same is the case with advantages and disadvantages. In double question, number one, paraphrase. Number two, double question means there will be two parts or two questions. So first body paragraph will be part one, second body paragraph will be part two, and then in conclusion, you can give your opinion. And problem solution, first paraphrase, first paragraph, then next two body paragraphs will be about one about the problem, one about the solution, and conclusion. So it is, if you don't follow these instructions, if you don't understand the question types, you will lose 25% marks. Now, what is the other area you need to focus on? That is grammatical range and accuracy. Here, if you don't, if like you have problem in this grammatical range and accuracy, you can get 7 minutes. You will have to write, you should be able to write in simple but correct English, and you must not forget to give a variety, range, like different tenses. Number two, use of a and the, similarly proper form of nouns, verbs, adjectives, and complex sentences. You must be able to write complex sentences, otherwise you may not be able to get a very good score. Now, what is it that the examiners, they check? Examiner will check number one, TA or TR, task accomplishment, task response. Number two, grammatical range and accuracy. Number three, cohesion and coherence. Number four, lexical resource. Number five, memorized. Number six, illegible. Number seven, off topic. And number eight, it will be underline. If you have not written 250 words in task 1, 150, So TA or TR, cohesion and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, underline, off topic, memorize, and illegible. These things are which we have to keep in mind. But here, TA or TR and GRA, these two are the most important. They are very important. Then vocabulary and your, it should not be off topic, these are also important. But first two are the most important, which you'll have to keep in mind while writing the essay. Now, do's and don'ts in writing. Well, number one, do's. Be mindful of the time limits. 20 minutes for task one and 40 minutes for task two. Read the question carefully and then check that you have answered the question correctly. Take time to plan the things you are going to write. You need arguments and examples to support your ideas. Think about using linking and sequencing words to help your writing to sound more cohesive. Learn different ways of describing graphs and tables. Make sure in task two you have time to write a conclusion. Your answer will be incomplete without completing task one. In academic, if you've written an overview, you don't need to write a conclusion. But in task two, you must write conclusion. Don'ts. Number one, don't use a dictionary when you practice your writing, as you cannot take one into the examination hall. Don't try to analyze the tables in task one, just describe the information. Don't spend too long on task one. You need to allocate about 20 minutes to that. After that time, go on to task two. Don't use the same vocabulary all the time. Don't use the same sentence structure and linking words. Show your knowledge of using variety and complexity. Some helpful hints. Number one, do at least one piece of writing every day and show it to the examiner or your teacher. Don't use dictionary when you are practicing at home. Like you can learn words, but when you're writing, sitting and writing the essay, or don't use dictionary. Just keep it natural. Become knowledgeable about the probable topics you'll be asked to write about in task two. Discuss them in English with friends and build your vocabulary regarding these topics. Familiarize yourself with different sentence structures, the passive voice, and words like adverbs, verbs, adjectives, nouns, verbs. And similarly, task one, you have to work on them because if you're taking academic, that's technical. But more focus should be on your essay and time limit. About time limit is 40 minutes for task two and 20 minutes for task one. In task one, what you can do 3 minutes for planning, 12 minutes writing, and last 2 minutes editing. But in task two essay, 40 minutes, so you can spend 5 minutes on planning, 32 minutes on writing, and 3 minutes on editing. That is all. And when you're writing essays, you must focus on ask yourself these 10 questions. Number one, I have used accurate grammatical structures, for example, consistent verb tenses, subject-verb agreement, accurate word formation, especially of nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and appropriate use of and the, as well as prepositions. Number two, I have used a range of sentence structures. Number three, I have used appropriate vocabulary. Number four, I've used accurate spelling. Number four, in British or American, like either spellings are acceptable. You can write American English, you can also write British spellings, that's no problem. Both are acceptable. But they should be correct. Number five, I have stated the main idea for each paragraph in a topic sentence, and all the points are related to this topic. Number six, I've used connecting words effectively to link ideas so that the thoughts move logically and clearly from one sentence to another and paragraph to paragraph. Seven, I have developed each paragraph adequately. Eight, I have supplied enough detailed information and sufficient examples or facts. 9, I've developed a definite point of view. 10, each paragraph that I've written has definitely helped to address the task. So that is how you should approach writing a test. Understand the format, the style, the tasks, both task 1 and 2, and then practice them, then get them checked, and do the follow up work. Plus, also develop understanding with the kind of topics that are given and your knowledge of language, and how to tackle different tasks like task 1 and task 2 essays. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day. See you again very soon.